So today you're here to talk about the Bud Stage and the fact that tonight's the opening night.
Opening night at Bud Stage. I'm so excited.
And you're an Air Miles ambassador, which
That's
is
right.
amazing.
Yes.
So for an ice skater who's come obviously from a long line of your performances rely on music so much, have you ever worked to include a musician because one of their songs because you were a big fan of the musician?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, we skated to long time running the Tragically Hip 2 weeks after Gord died, and I knew that was important to Scott especially. It was such a pivotal and impactful part of Scott's youth, and so we wanted to sort of celebrate Gord, and we did our own little tribute, but of course, I mean, we don't skate to music unless we really love it, and we're such music fans. It's the impetus for all of our movement, all of our storytelling, and it's really at the crux of it all, so we need to really connect to a piece.
That's cool. Well, do you have a list of musicians that you've been dying to see? I think a lot of people have a top 10 list.
Yeah.
Do you have that list?
I have a list.
A general idea, maybe?
I mean, I spent 2 decades living a very sort of sheltered life full of sacrifice and deprivation. So there's a list of just living. I feel like there's a long list of things I need to tackle, and concerts are one of them. But I mean, this summer with the Bud Stage lineup, I'll be able to tick quite a few of those boxes, which I'm really looking forward to.
What are some of the ones that you're looking forward to the most?
Arkell's is up there. So excited to see Jim Cuddy perform. We just spent some time with him in Spain with Canada's Great Kitchen Party. So
amazing.
It'll be neat to see him in a different venue. Florence and the Machine. We've also performed to one of those pieces, and what else? Yeah, I mean, Bryan Adams. I think everyone is excited about that. So yeah.
I don't think you can see Bryan Adams too much.
No, that's right. That's what I've been told. I've never seen
times.
Bryan.
Oh, you've never
seen Bryan. We're on a first name basis already.
That's amazing.
Yeah. If you ask me about him again, it'll be Bry.
Do you have do you ever travel to see concerts? I guess you haven't traditionally, but do you want to?
I would, absolutely. I would travel to see, someone like an Elton John would be on the list. Or I would travel. I think that's the neat thing about pursuing an experience, right? I mean, we can so easily get caught up in the material items and goods, and it's different when you're with friends, you're with the people that you care about, and for instance, like the Bud Stage, you're outside, you're enjoying a nice summer night. I mean, there's nothing better than that cultural experience and sharing that with someone.
And I gotta say, even the lawn, it's a great experience even in the lawn, because it's like a party.
You're right.
Almost.
Yeah, I mean, you can see so many different concerts at Bud Stage and have a different experience because you're at the lawn, you're under the cover. I've had the good fortune of being side stage at some events, and it's different, right? The sound quality, the demographic, the style, everything, the people watching.
If you could pick one band to be side stage with, who would that be this year?
This year? Oh, I'm debating a little bit with Arkell's even, because I would like to see sort of the behind the scenes and the inner workings of how that production works, but I also just want to take it in as a fan. They're such performers, and it's been a while since I've been able to see them on such a big stage, right? Really since Pyeongchang and at Canada Olympic House, it was very different. So maybe I just want to be in the audience and take it in.
The one great thing I would say too is that Toronto has always had a pretty great concert setup. I mean, I think across the whole city.
So many venues.
Have you been to many? Have you had that opportunity yet, or are you working on that?
I'm working my way through the Toronto music scene. I have to say I spent a little bit more time doing that in Montreal.
Right.
I lived near the Corona Theatre, so that was always a favorite.
Wow.
But saw Serena Ryder in Montreal, and that was a big one. That was a hit. But it's kind of nice to be a little bit closer to home now. And with the Air Miles Stage Pass, I mean, I'm in the loop, I'm in the know, and I have access to not just tickets but also VIP experiences, and I'm so excited.
And that changes things, because I don't think, years ago when I was growing up, there was no VIP experiences. So it's really cool that now there are those chances that for the bands you really care about, you can be like,
right.
I'm gonna meet them.
That's right. It does. It changes it. And as you said, when you're a huge fan of a particular band, it's kind of neat when that experience is amplified and made even better.
So Otherwise, you're coming in from London? Is that where are you still?
It's a great question, Andrew.
All over?
I'm spending about 1 day a month at home right now, so it's I'm on the road quite a bit.
Well, so that was my next question, is what's life like for Tessa Virtue these days?
Life is hectic. You know, I've done a good job at filling my schedule. I'm taking a course, a business class, because my hope is to start my MBA next year, so that's on the radar. But otherwise, I've been lucky enough to work with so many incredible partners and organizations that are doing really meaningful work and things that matter to me, like empowering girls, keeping girls in sport, you know, different charity work that I wasn't able to give time to when I was an amateur athlete, and also performing. Scott and I are still training and performing. We'll be in Japan this summer and going all the way across Canada this fall on our own tour, and it's neat to be able to step on the ice and feel a different kind of pressure. I think the way we can gauge a successful performance is whether there's a standing ovation or not. It's not any mark, or it's not you know, a judge's perception. So it's a bit of a shift.
What is it like when you're meeting with fans who are coming up to you with so many stories that, I mean, I've just heard some of them online, just the range of inspirations, I guess I could say.
Oh, that's so nice.
What do they say to you?
It's been really special. I think one of my favorite things about this last year since the Pyeongchang Olympics is being able to connect with people more. Canadians really rallied behind us, not just leading into these Olympics, but for 2 decades. And to have that kind of support it's hard to articulate. It's hard to properly ever say thank you. But you know, one of my favorite things is hearing the stories of where people were when we competed in Korea or in Vancouver, and maybe there's a song that, you know, is associated with us that has inspired them or something. I mean, I just think the ability of sport and the Olympic movement to unite people and bring people together and inspire others is something so much bigger than us, but it's a really lovely side benefit to what we do.
Well, and even, I mean, rereading what you went through to get to where you could perform, I guess.
You really prepped for this interview. I love it. I love it.
Well, I mean, so when I talk about who I've interviewed, you know, there's certain people that I've always wanted to interview you. And to be honest, talking like the number of people who know exactly who you guys were and who you guys are, like it's powerful, the number of people you guys have touched.
It's nice. It's I think sport, like music, it does resonate with people because it is the way Canada's put on the world stage, and I think being able to represent this country and for all that it stands for, you know, diversity, fairness, inclusive, like, you know, inclusion, it's never lost on us. And the fact that we were able to travel the world and compete and perform in so many different places, but have the love and support from Canadians, it's something that we still cherish.
That's amazing. Well, the last thing I'd love to know is, you know, in terms of Canada, maybe a smaller act. Do you keep tabs on smaller bands? There's one that you might want to catch this year?
Well, Birds of Bellwoods is now on our radar as we'll be touring with them in the fall. And
cool.
Not necessarily a small band because I think they've proven themselves already, but they've sort of taken the scene by storm, and we're excited to share this tour with them and see what we can come up with and think of interesting ways to collaborate and join forces.
That's cool. Thank you very much for the time.
Thank you. Appreciate it.